Your grandmother owned far fewer clothes than you do, and somehow she stepped out the door every single morning looking pressed, polished, and entirely put together. It was not money. It was not luck. She knew a set of small, deliberate tricks that the clothing business has spent 60 years teaching you to forget. One of them could keep a single dress in rotation for 15 years. Another lived quietly in the armpit and saved every blouse she owned. There is one principle underneath all of it, a thing called built-in alterability, and once you understand it, you cannot unsee it. The companies selling you $5 shirts that lose their shape in 3 washes are counting on you never learning these. Fast fashion did not make your wardrobe better. It made it disposable, and it made you a customer who has to keep buying forever. Let us count down the 20 vanished wardrobe tricks modern brands hope you never rediscover. Number 20. The coordinated gloves and handbag. Picture a woman stepping off a city bus in 1962. Her gloves answer her bag. Her bag answers her shoes. Nothing is loud and everything agrees. White cotton gloves for daytime, soft kid skin for evening, 1 pair for church and 1 for the market. These were not decoration. They were grammar. A coordinated set told the whole street that a person had thought about herself before she left the house. And it did that work in 3 seconds before she spoke a single word. Your grandmother kept her gloves in a shallow drawer, washed the cotton pairs by hand, and stuffed the leather ones with tissue so they held their shape. Here is the quiet joke of it. The entire signal cost less than 1 disposable handbag costs today. Now the gloves are gone, the bag is plastic, and the shoes were bought in a completely different month than everything else. The look fell apart the moment we stopped pairing things on purpose. Stay up at the top of the outfit for the next one because it crowned everything else. Number 19. The everyday hat. Not a costume hat, not a special occasion hat, simply a hat. A neat little pillbox, a wide soft brim for summer, a felt cloche for a grey afternoon. A hat finished a woman the way a period finishes a sentence. It also did honest work. It kept the sun off her face, the rain off her set, and the chill off her ears, and it hid a hairstyle that was 3 days old and holding on for dear life. Your grandmother had a hat for marketing and a hat for Sunday, and she knew that the right one turned a plain coat into an ensemble. The humour is that a hat forgave almost everything underneath it. Now we have abandoned the hat entirely, and we spend the saved money on hair products trying to fake the polish a $2 hat used to deliver instantly. From the head, the trick moved down to the hair itself. Number 18. The everyday headscarf. A square of silk or light rayon folded once into a triangle and knotted under the chin or behind the neck. It cost almost nothing, and it did everything. It guarded a hairstyle against wind, against the open window of a moving car, against a sudden drizzle that would have ruined an hour of effort. A hairdo set on a Friday had to survive until the next visit to the salon, and the scarf was how it survived. There was a soft whisper of silk against the ear, and underneath it, the faint sweet smell of setting lotion. The funny part is the sheer range of 1 square of cloth. A dozen folds, a dozen looks, 1 accessory. Now we re-wash and restyle our hair every single day, or we pay for a blowout, because we threw away the cheapest tool that ever protected an investment of time. Here is where the tricks stop hiding and start fixing. Number 17. The functional brooch. A brooch was not only a sparkle on a lapel, it was a tool. Pinned at the throat, it closed a neckline that gaped open. Pinned at the shoulder, it anchored a scarf that wanted to slide. Pinned anywhere, it drew the eye to the jewel and away from a worn spot, a tired seam, or a button that had quietly gone missing that morning. The mechanism is simple and clever. A pin gathers fabric and redistributes strain, and a bright stone resets where a person is looking. Your grandmother could hide a small coffee stain through an entire luncheon with one well-placed paste brooch and a steady nerve. Today, a tiny flaw means a garment is declared ruined and replaced. She declared it accessorized. That difference in attitude is the whole game, and we traded it away. That same instinct, fix the small thing and save the big thing, shows up in the next trick at the collar. Number 16. Dickies and detachable collars. A dickie is a false collar and front that buttons in under a sweater or a jumper, and a detachable collar simply snaps or pins onto a dress. They look like styling. They are actually engineering. The collar and the cuffs are where a garment dies first, because they take the most rubbing against skin, the most oil from the neck, the most soil from the day. Make those pieces separate, and you wash or replace the part that wears while the body of the garment stays fresh for years. Your grandmother could turn one good dress into 5 different looks with 5 collars and launder the collars nightly while the dress rested. Fast fashion does the opposite on purpose. It sews everything into one sealed unit so that when the collar goes grey, the entire shirt goes in the bin and you go back to the store. Keeping a collar crisp leads straight to the next trick, which is about the crispness itself. Number 15. Spray starch and true pressing. There is a difference between ironing and pressing, and your grandmother knew it in her hands. Ironing drags the iron back and forth and stretches the cloth out of shape. Pressing lifts the iron, sets it down with a burst of steam, lifts it again, and shapes the fabric without distorting it. Starch was the secret partner. A light coat stiffens the fibres, so a collar holds a sharp edge, resists wrinkling, and even shrugs off a little dirt. There was the hiss of steam, the faint scorch smell of warm cotton, the satisfying heat of a freshly pressed collar against the wrist. A whole afternoon could go by at the board with the radio playing. Now we buy wrinkle-release sprays and so-called wash and wear synthetics that never look truly crisp, and we call the limp result modern convenience. Now we arrive at the trick I promised at the very beginning, the one that lived quietly in the armpit. Number 14. The dress shield. It is a small curved pad of cotton, sometimes backed with rubber, pinned or basted or snapped into the armhole of a dress or a jacket. A company called Kleinitz invented the whole category back in 1869, and by your grandmother's day, it was simply standard equipment in a well-run closet. Here is why it mattered so deeply. Perspiration is what kills a garment from the inside. It stains, it rots fibres, it sets an odour that no amount of pressing will lift. The shield takes all of that punishment so the dress never has to. When it was soiled, she unpinned it, washed it, and pinned it back, or snapped in a fresh one in seconds. A pad worth a couple of pennies could double or triple the life of an expensive dress. Theatres still use them today to guard costumes worth thousands. Your closet protects nothing, and the sweat goes straight into the cloth. Let us pause the countdown for a moment, because that humble pad points at something much larger. Take a dress your grandmother actually sewed or bought and open one of its side seams. Folded inside, you will find a full inch of finished fabric, sometimes more, just waiting in reserve. Now open the seam of something bought cheap last season. You will find 1/4 of an inch, raw, locked shut with tight overlock stitching. That difference is the entire principle, and its name is built-in alterability. A mid-century garment was never a final verdict on a body, it was a starting point. The body changes across a life, through years and weight and children and age, and the dress was built to follow it. Let it out, Take it in, lengthen it, mend it. Natural fibres like wool and cotton and silk cooperate because they press and reshape and ease. Fast fashion removed that hidden inch on purpose. Less fabric is cheaper, yes, but the deeper goal is that the garment can never be saved. Number 13, the full slip and the half slip. A slip was not lingerie for show. It was the smooth foundation a finished look was built upon. The full slip hung from the shoulders under a dress, and the half slip rode at the waist under a skirt. The mechanism is pure physics. A slip creates a frictionless layer between the body and the garment, so the dress glides instead of clinging. Static disappears, and a thin fabric stops, betraying every shadow underneath. Without one, a beautiful dress wrinkles at the hip and grabs at the knee. With one, the very same dress falls clean and quiet. Your grandmother owned several in white and in nude, and she would no sooner skip the slip than leave the house in one shoe. Now the slip is nearly extinct, and we wonder aloud why our dresses cling, ride up, and read as cheap even when they were not. Below the slip sat the most misunderstood trick of all. Number 12. The foundation girdle. Before anyone flinches, understand what it really did. The most famous example was the Playtex Living Girdle, made by the International Latex Company starting around 1940 and worn steadily through the 50s and into the 60s. It was moulded latex, marketed as nearly indestructible, resistant to holes and snags, and it shipped rolled up inside a slim cardboard tube. Its job was not punishment. Its job was a smooth, continuous line so that one dress fit beautifully even as the body shifted a few pounds in either direction across a season. The method was a wrestling match with a dusting of talcum powder, and your grandmother would laugh about rolling into it like a swimmer into a wetsuit. The point is durability. A single foundation reshaped many outfits for many years. Today, shapewear is disposable too, sold to be replaced, and the very idea of a lasting foundation under your clothes has quietly vanished. The girdle worked from the waist down, and its partner worked from the waist up. Number 11, the structured longline bra. This was architecture, not underwear. Built with shaped seaming and light boning, a longline bra extended down toward the waist and created the firm, clean line that a fitted sheath of the era was designed around. Brands like Maidenform and Playtex built whole reputations on this engineering, and Maidenform's famous Dream advertising campaign, which ran from 1949 onward, made the structured bra a household object. The mechanism is load distribution. Seams and panels carry and shape rather than simply cover, so the dress on top has a stable canvas to sit against. The result was that off-the-rack dresses looked tailored because the body beneath them had already been given its lines. The structured bra has mostly given way to soft, shapeless replacements that wear out fast and are bought again and again, and the dresses on top have lost the smooth foundation they were drawn for. The same logic of separate, replaceable pieces ruled the legs. Number 10. Stockings and the garter belt. Before the all-in-one, your grandmother wore individual nylon stockings, often fully fashioned with a seam up the back, held by a garter belt at the waist. This sounds fussy, and it was, but it was also smart. Each stocking was a separate object. When a run started, she stopped it cold with a dab of clear nail polish, and if one leg was beyond saving, she replaced one stocking and kept the other. A man named Alan Gant introduced pantyhose in 1959. The rise of the miniskirt in the middle of the decade made the all-in-one almost mandatory, and by 1970, pantyhose outsold stockings in America for the first time. Notice the quiet cost of that convenience. With pantyhose, One small run condemns the entire garment to the trash. The separate stocking could be rescued, swapped, and stretched across many wearings. We called the change progress. The garbage can called it good business. Hit that subscribe button because what you are learning here might change how you think about the products filling stores today. Now to the trick that turned a woman into the author of her own wardrobe. Number 9. Home sewing from commercial patterns. Companies like Butterick, McCall's, Simplicity, and Vogue Patterns sold tissue paper blueprints for a few coins, and home economics classes taught nearly every girl to follow them. This was not a hobby, it was infrastructure. A pattern let your grandmother cut a dress to her own measurements rather than squeezing into whatever a factory guessed an average woman might be. The mechanism is the payoff of everything we have discussed. A garment made to a real body with real seam allowances left in reserve can be adjusted forever after. She could shorten the same pattern for a daughter, lengthen it the next year, or recut a worn dress into a child's jumper. Today, most people cannot replace a button, and clothing arrives sealed, sized to a guess, and impossible to truly fit. She did not buy clothes that fit. She made clothes fit her. That reserve of fabric was not decoration, it was a promise, and the next trick is how she collected on it. Number 8. Letting out and taking in. This is built-in alterability in plain daily action. Because seams held a generous inch of finished cloth inside, a skilled hand could open them and reshape the garment to a changed body or a changed fashion. A dress that grew snug after a happy winter was simply let out at the side seams and waist. A skirt that hung loose was taken in. The very same dress could fit a woman at 25, at 35 after children, and at 50 again. Your grandmother thought of a wardrobe as adjustable, not fixed, and her sewing basket made it true. Modern garments cannot do this. The quarter inch of raw, overlocked seam has nothing to give. You cannot let out what was never left in. So the dress that no longer fits is not adjusted. It is discarded exactly as designed. Which raises the real question hiding behind all of this. Number 7. Buying fewer, better pieces. Your grandmother did not own a closet stuffed with 40 cheap things she half liked. She owned a handful of good things she loved and trusted. A well-made wool suit, 2 or 3 quality dresses, a coat chosen to last a decade. The arithmetic is ruthless and beautiful. Spread the cost of a good coat across 10 years of wear, and the cost for each wearing falls to almost nothing. Spread a cheap coat across a single ruined season, and it was never cheap at all. She bought slowly, chose carefully, maintained constantly, and ended each year with more, not less. The humour is gentle here, because she could name every item she owned and tell you where it came from. Most of us could not list half our closet from memory because we never really chose any of it. We only accumulated it. Step back with me for a second, because that arithmetic explains why all of this disappeared. Buy fewer, buy better, maintain forever, and your cost for each wearing drops to pennies while your wardrobe lasts a decade. That is wonderful for you and a disaster for any business that needs you to come back. So the model was rebuilt around the opposite. Trends were sped up deliberately. A calendar that once held 2 seasons now holds dozens of micro-seasons a year, each one designed to make last month look wrong. Quality was pushed down to a price where repair feels irrational, so you replace instead of mend. The cloth itself is engineered to look tired after a few washes. This is planned obsolescence, simply stitched into fabric instead of bolted into a machine. Your grandmother's habits were not quaint. They were a threat to a business that profits only when clothing fails, and so those habits were quietly trained out of all of us. Once you see the model, the next trick looks almost rebellious. Number 6. Routine mending, darning, and reweaving. A hole was not a death sentence. It was a Tuesday evening task. Your grandmother kept a darning egg, a card of matching thread, and a button tin that held decades of spares. And she fixed a worn heel of a sock or a loose hem during a quiet radio hour. The skill of reweaving could make a moth hole in a wool coat genuinely vanish. The mechanism is obvious once it is said aloud. A garment fails in tiny fixable spots long before the whole thing is truly worn out, and catching those spots early keeps the garment alive for years. We have lost the tin, the egg, and the nerve. A loose button now sends a shirt to the landfill, and a small hole ends a sweater that had a decade of life left in it. Mending only pays off if the cloth is worth saving, which leads to the next trick. Number 5. Fabric knowledge. Your grandmother could tell wool from a wool blend by feel, judge a cotton by its weight, and know on sight whether a fabric would press crisply or sag into wrinkles by noon. She chose natural fibres for the simple reason that they earn their keep. Wool resists wrinkles, sheds water, and warms even when damp. Cotton breathes and takes a press. Silk and linen each have their own honest virtues. The mechanism is that a good fibre works with all the other tricks. It presses, it reshapes, it mends, it lasts. The synthetics that flooded in were cheaper to make and quicker to sell, and many of them pill, trap odour, and refused to hold a line. She read a bolt of cloth the way a cook reads produce. Most of us now buy by the picture on the website and learn the fibre only when it falls apart. Good cloth deserves good keeping, and that is the next quiet trick. Number 4. Proper storage and care. Your grandmother did not simply cram clothes onto a rod and hope. Wool was brushed after wearing and rested a day between outings so it could recover its shape. Cedar blocks and lavender kept the moths away from the good coats. Garments were aired rather than overwashed, because she understood that every single wash and every harsh cleaning wears a fabric down a little more. Delicates were hand-washed in cool water and laid flat to dry. The mechanism is restraint. The gentlest care that still does the job is the care that makes a garment last. We do the opposite now, washing hot and often, drying hotter, and wondering why everything looks exhausted within a year. She treated her clothes like guests. We treat ours like paper towels. All of that care fed the trick that made the whole look possible. Number 3. Tailored fit and darts. The single biggest difference between looking thrown together and looking put together is fit, and your grandmother understood that off the rack was only ever a rough draft. A few darts stitched at the waist, a hem nipped up, a shoulder eased in, and a sack became a silhouette. A dart is just a fold of fabric stitched to a point, and it works pure magic, shaping flat cloth to a curved body so the garment follows the form instead of hanging off it. Even a modest dress, fitted properly, reads as expensive because the eye registers fit long before it registers price. She knew her tailor, or she was her own tailor. We buy clothes that almost fit, never alter them because the cheap seams forbid it, and then blame our bodies for the gap that a needle could have closed in an evening. Number 2. A wardrobe that fits and lasts becomes something rare and powerful, which brings us to the trick that tied it all together. A small wardrobe of interchangeables separates. Your grandmother did not need a closet the size of a bedroom. She kept a tight collection of pieces chosen so that nearly everything matched nearly everything else. A few skirts, a few blouses, a couple of jackets, all sharing a quiet family of colours. The mechanism is multiplication. 6 pieces that all coordinate do not make 6 outfits. They make dozens because each item partners with many others. She always looked fresh because she was always recombining, not because she owned an endless pile. The cruel irony of today is that we own far more and wear far less, because a closet of mismatched impulse buys produces almost no working outfits at all. She built a small machine of clothing where every part fit every other part. We built a warehouse where almost nothing goes together. And that brings us to the trick beneath every other trick, the one that was never really about a single object at all. Number 1, treating a garment as something to be kept. This is where built-in alterability becomes a whole philosophy. To your grandmother, a dress was not a disposable mood. It was an investment to be maintained, reshaped, repaired, and carried across years of a life. The slip protected it. The shield guarded it. The starch crisped it. The seam allowance let it grow with her. The darning needle healed it. The careful storage rested it. Every single trick in this countdown was one habit serving one belief, that good clothing should last and serve and adapt. Fast fashion did not simply sell us worse clothes. It sold us a worse idea, that clothing is temporary and replaceable and beneath our care. The deepest thing your grandmother knew was not how to dress. It was that the things you own are worth keeping well. So here is my challenge to you, and I mean it as a real one. Find a vintage dress at an estate sale or a thrift shop. Open a side seam and feel that hidden inch of fabric for yourself. Then try one dress shield in your favourite shirt and watch how long it stays clean. Then pull 6 items from your closet that actually share a colour family and live on those alone for a week. I did the first of these myself, and I will admit, it changed me. I found a plain wool dress from the early 60s at a church sale. And when I opened the waist seam, there was so much finished fabric folded inside that I let it out 2 full sizes by hand in one evening with no real skill at all. It has now outlasted 3 so-called good coats I bought new. So tell me in the comments, would you trade a closet full of disposable clothes for 10 pieces you could keep and mend for 20 years, or has convenience won you over for good? Either way, the next time you fold a square of silk or feel the weight of a well-made coat, think of the woman who knew all of this by heart. Your grandmother was not lucky, she was wise, and that wisdom is still there waiting, folded quietly into a seam, ready for anyone willing to open it.